All right. What? Reconnecting. Poor connection. I have Wi-Fi. How does that work? That's weird. Let's see. Gives me time to adjust my thing over there. Come on. What up, YouTube? Just waiting for Instagram to connect. If you're not following me there, at Loguechance, LOGUECHANCE. It says that we got a poor connection. I don't know how that's the case. But we'll wait just a second and see what's going on. I'm just going to restart it. Sorry about that. That's embarrassing, sort of. Hate to lose you that quick, potentially, if I did, but hopefully this works. 3, 2, it's only been a minute and a half. Someone's in here. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right. So now we're live on Instagram as well. I got one person in the live stream on YouTube, it looks like. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever had someone in the YouTube live actively. So if you're in there and you hear me, drop a chat or whatever, and I'll do my best to address it whatever way. So I've previously done a workout of the week that highlights hip recovery. Did it a couple of weeks ago. That's already on. I'm not going to repeat the stretching that I do at the end just because you can easily go and find that. All you would have to do is, find the old video. I think it's workout of the week 10B, hip recovery. You would need to either watch the full thing if you've not seen it, or if you have and you need to know the stretches, just fast forward to the end of it. Not the end, but the later half for sure. So this is something that I do on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and also on Sunday. On Sunday, I combine the two just to really get the hips fully recovered to the best of my ability, along with a lot of core work and things of that nature. So the first thing we'll start with, if you have a yoga mat or a rug or something that's a little soft, get it, or just be hard and be on the ground. But you're going to go into all fours, and we're going to do some fire hydrants and or hip cars, however you like to call it. So the idea here is going to be knee up for flexion, abduct, extend, adduct, so bring your knee in and repeat. And we're going to do that 5 times in one direction. And then we'll go in reverse and do 5 times in that direction. So whenever you go in reverse, it'll be extension, abduction, flexion, adduction. For me, that moves a little more naturally, or at least it feels like it does. But this is just to get the hips loose if they're not already loose. Definitely hard. You'll need to brace your core so you don't fall over with it. And again, just make the movement as full as possible. If you have to keep it close, that's okay. It's not an easy movement to make. And if you need to start out just doing adduction, that's fine. So up, out, back, knee in, up, out, back. We're going to do 5 times this direction on this leg as well. Boom. I think that's 4. And here will be 5. Then we'll go in reverse. So kick back, out, up, in. And one more just for the love. So from here, I'm going to get my foot back behind me as if I'm trying to stretch my hamstring, almost like a starting running pose. I'm going to have one hand on the floor, the opposite knee on the floor as well. And I always start my hand out rotate my shoulder to keep it even with my head, and I push into the floor with my knee and with my hand. Hold for a good 3 breaths. Let off for a second. Get a good breath. And re-engage. Hold for 3 deep breaths. Let off for just a second. Big breath, and then re-engage. Boom. 1, 2, 3. You can do that as many times as you really want, as many breaths as you want, really. I just do 3 and 3 because it's easy to keep up with, and it's all I really find necessary. The harder you push into the floor, the more work you're going to do. You should really feel that on your inner thigh, also known as your adductors, your hip adductors. Now we're going to switch around, one hand down, one knee down, reline the hand up with my head the best I can, look straight at the floor, and press in. Let off just a second, re-engage. Let off, we'll get one more. All right, so from there, that's called, I think there's a couple of names for it, but I believe it is called a 3-point cat pose. I also call it an isometric bird dog. I know that that's probably not the accurate name, but it's just something that helps describe it for anyone that is somewhat familiar with at least a bird dog or with yoga in general. Just another thing to call it. Who cares about the accuracy of the name as long as you're doing the exercise correctly? So now we're going to go into a cat pose. This is good for your back as well as abdominal hollowing, and it works your hip flexors a good amount as well. So we're going to get back into all fours. Let your head just kind of dip down. You're not actively bending it, just letting the neck relax. Press into the floor with the palms of your hands, into the floor with your knees. 3 to 5 deep breaths. The way to tell if you're pushing in to the floor would be, and I'll show you from the side here, if I'm not pushing in really, my feet stay down. If I push in with my knees, my feet are going to come up. So that's, if you're training someone or if you're doing it for yourself, a good indicator of how hard you're actually pressing in is if your feet come off the floor. We're going to do that 3 to 5 times, 3 to 5 breaths each time. I'm going to do one more. And we'll let off. So one thing that you can do if you choose, whenever you come off and give yourself a little rest, if you kind of dip your back in, squeeze your shoulders together and look up, that may pop your back. It's not bad. It feels really good. But if you've got any kind of neck problem or back problem, maybe don't stress that out too much. It's just kind of a good plus. So next, what I would do is go down flat to the floor. And I may need to show you this from the side. And I'm going to, just because the angle is better. Actually, I might show you. I might be able to see. I'll show you from the back. How about that? Kind of diagonal. So you're gonna get on your belly, get your feet up, rotate your knees and hips so that your heels are facing one another. Hands are gonna come out to your side, look straight at the floor. Rise everything up by pressing your pelvis into the ground. And you're going to hold that for 3 to 4 deep breaths. And come down. I'm going to go back up. And in just a second, I'm going to turn around so you can see it from the front. Up. 3, 4 deep breaths. Now turn around so you can see what the front end looks like. Everything's the same. Go into the belly. Hands out to the side. Feet up. Oh, you could have seen that just fine. Now, feet up. Get your heels to one another. Look at the floor. Looking up causes a lot of stress on the neck. It's just not necessary. So just do your best to look straight down, up, hold for a few seconds, few good breaths. Do one more. And drop. So that's good for your hips, for your glutes, your shoulders, just kind of full body. And a cool thing about a lot of this, if you're breathing adequately, it becomes real relaxing. Like you're getting oxygen to your brain, to your heart, to your lungs in large amounts. And not only that, you're contracting your abs by breathing hard like that. So that's a plus to get your core workout in as well. Next, there's a couple ways of doing this. I believe this is called a half lotus. Could be wrong. I'm not a yoga expert. What are you doing? But I do know that there's a few. Get out of here, man. A few difficult ways or a few difficulty levels of doing this. You need to go outside. Come on. So be on your stomach again. Hands out in front of you, feet out behind you. I'm going to show you the hand positions from the front, but then I'm going to spin around so you can see what's going on with the legs. The easiest way to go about this in terms of leverage would be to have your hands right next to your side, palms facing down. The next hardest would be straight out to you like a cross. Again, palms down. And what I see as the hardest is hands out in front of you, palms down. Again, you're going to want your chest and head to just rest on the floor the best you can. That's kind of uncomfortable, especially if you're using like a public gym mat. But you got to do what you got to do. So this is what it's going to look like from the front. Now I'll show you one from the front, one side from the front, one side from the back. So stay here. You're going to have to engage your quad of the leg that stays on the ground. So one foot's going to come up, back behind you as high as you can. At that point, your full lower body should be off the ground. And like I said, the foot that's on the floor, that quad's going to need to engage. You're going to hold that. Big breath in, breathe out, and push that leg up further. Big breath in. That, I would say 3 stages of stretch happens there. Each time you breathe in, you should be able to kick your foot up just a little bit higher. Feel that in your glutes as well as in your lower back. Now I'm going to show you the other leg from the back. So maybe you can kind of see what I'm talking about in terms of what that looks like. So I've got my hands out in front of me, both feet out behind me. I'm going to do my left leg. I don't know what that looks like for y'all, but chin on the ground. Everything comes up. Boom. Quad is fully engaged. Foot's up. If you flex your toe up, that helps. Big breath. Push it up. Big breath in. The higher you go, the harder it is, but also it becomes easier with the more flexible that you become. So that one gets me. It's not easy, I don't think, but it's helpful. I wouldn't cut it out for sure. What I would get into after that, I would need to, I guess, spin around, and we're going to do cobras. So with cobras, get kind of into what would be a push-up position, hands right next to your chest. Elbows are going to try to stay close, but it's fine if they flare out just a little bit. You're going to, again, need to engage your quads, press up, and drop your hips, squeeze your butt cheeks together, quads are flexed, and look up and extend your neck back as far as you feel good with. Don't force it. Big breath in. Press the pelvis even further into the ground, to the ground. It's not going to touch it. It shouldn't. One more. Just like with anything else, whenever you take your big breath in, you should be able to stretch it just a little bit more. Even if it's marginal, it should go a little bit. And with time, with practice, it gets easier. From there, I would go straight into child's pose. I do 3 of those and hold for about 3 seconds. So drop down, kind of like a push-up, staying on my knees, press up, butt up in the air, and then pushing into the ground with my hands to get a good stretch of my back. 3, 2, 1. Come back, lower myself, press up, press into the floor with my hands, get that good stretch. Get your head to the floor if you're able to. Stretch that back out, and we'll do one more. It's a whole vibe, I promise. And one more. As far back as you can, let your head drop to the floor. Good stretch on that lower back. From there, I would go into a chin stand. I don't want to do that in here. I'll try it 3 times, but since it's in a different space, and it's just not the same. If I can't get it within 3 tries, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not trying to hurt myself. Chin stands I wouldn't recommend unless it's just something that you want to, I guess, try. I don't really know how to coach that because honestly, I don't know how I do it. I just kind of figured it out. So I will say the less you think about it, the easier it is. Hands about shoulder width like you would for a push-up. And I literally just go onto my face and brace my core, get my knees in, and then I extend my legs. That's the best way I can describe it. So here we go. Almost. We'll try one more. That's 2 tries. 3rd try's a charm. That's what they say, right? We'll go for it. Here we go. 3, 2. Good enough. I can't breathe into that pillow, but the only reason I really do that is it just loosens my neck up. Every time after I do that, my neck feels a lot better. It pops a couple times. It doesn't hurt. And my neck just feels better. My logic is that from looking down so often, by putting pressure on it that way, it kind of stretches it back the way from looking down at the phone or at the computer or paper or whatever. I'm not recommending that because I really don't know how safe that is, but I do it and I've not experienced any negative side effects. The last thing that we got is essentially a pretty hardcore isometric hip bridge. And I'm going to need to show you that probably from the side. So I don't need the mat really. So you're going to go to your back. If you're able to, make sure that you can touch the heels of your feet with your fingertips just a little bit. Hands at your side, head stays down, back stays down. You're going to press through the floor with your feet, get into your hip bridge, and from here, let's see if I can highlight the hammies a little bit. You're going to press into the floor with your heels and press into the floor with your shoulders. So engage. You should feel that pretty hard in your hamstrings if you're pushing back towards your glutes and shoulders down towards your glutes as well. Hold it for about 4 or 5 seconds. Let off. If you've never done that before, or if you don't work out hamstrings very often, chances are they're going to cramp. Just shake it out if you have to. Get back into it. Push through, push in with your shoulders. Hands stay down the best you can. Drop, relax just a bit. We're going to go for a couple more. Up, squeeze. We're going to go down for one more. bridge, and that's pretty much it. That's the hip recovery aside from the foam rolling and the stretches that I do at the end of it as well. I said I wouldn't show the stretches, but I'll run through them real quick since this didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. So the first one, I would go to my back, and back needs to stay on the ground. Grab my leg, extend it as much as possible, flex my toes up, grab it on the back, and pull. Hold it for about 3 breaths. Big breath in, pull back further. 3 breaths, and then big breath in. And again with that, I just do it 3 times or 3 stages, however you think of it. Then I go to the other side, head down, toe flex up, grab in the back, boom. And then big breath, back a little further. 1 more big breath, and release. From there, I'd go into a windmill stretch, I believe is what it's called. So I would go kind of to the side, bring 1 foot up, keep my leg as extended as possible, or same side arm, go straight 90 degrees, dorsiflex my toes, pull. Same thing, 3 stages, 3 breaths. Big breath in each time, and let it go slowly. Don't just let it snap back. That may not feel great. So then I'd repeat that to the other side. Extend my leg, arm up, grab my calf with my other hand, toes up. From there, we would do a 90-90 stretch. So that looks like you go line your heel to your knee. Both legs are at roughly a 90-degree angle. Line your chest up over your front knee. Lean over at the hips as far down as you feel good with. Get a good stretch on that outer hip. Pull your toes up if you so choose. Hold for 3 deep breaths. I'd come up. From there, I would go to my back toe. I'd go to my back toe a little bit, use it as a lever. Swing my heel under so that my legs open wide. Hold it for a couple of seconds. Let that go down. Swing under. Hold. I do that just twice. You can do more if you need. And from there, I lean back a little bit. Try not to twist, just kind of lean straight back. That pops my back almost every time without failure. Then you need to go the other way. Everything's the same. Keep your chest over your front knee. Lean forward as far as you can. Breathe deep. Pull at your toes if you feel the need. And again, go to the back foot. Kind of use it as a pivot point on the toe. Swing the heel under. Open as good as you can. Get a good stretch on your adductors. Lower the knee back down, and we'll do it once more. Let it down. Lean back a little bit. My back doesn't pop on that side, only whenever I do it the other way. Kind of weird. From there, I'd come up, cross my legs so that knees on top of foot, foot's on top of knee, and I would lean forward at the hip as far as I feel good. I tend to pull at my toes a little, so I'm pulling my toes towards me, getting a good stretch. Then I switch around, just go cross leg the other way. If you're not able to start that way, then just start with your feet in front of you, and in due time, get low and then get as close in as you can. Anyway, lean at the front. boom. When we come out, do your best. Now this, the further away your feet are, the easier it is in terms of not being uncomfortable, but you're gonna kind of flutter your knees a little bit, lean forward a little, grab onto your toes, pull them up towards you. Let off, flutter a little bit more, get a little stretch, then lean forward. Eventually, the idea is to at least be able to touch your head to your toes. I'm sure there are people that can do like head to floor or whatever, but if you're able to touch your head to your toes, I'd say you're pretty flexible. From there, I do a one leg hamstring stretch. So this leg stays bent at about 90 degrees. I'm going to stretch that, pull back on my toes, hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds. Whenever you think about stretching, most of the time, it doesn't need to be like some real long, prolonged, like 30-second stretch. Think of how animals stretch. They stretch for just a few seconds at a time, relieve it, and that's it. So after doing single legs, I'll go wide, grab onto both, pull back at the toes the best I can. Try to keep your knees and everything flat to the floor. And we're going to bring feet close. Again, pull back on your toes, hinge forward at your hips as far as you can. Get a good stretch on your hamstrings. After that, we stand. Like I said, I'm just rushing through these. The other video has a little bit better of an explanation. But since this didn't take too long, I figured why not. So from there, we've got technically 4 more stretches, and they're not the hardest, but I don't know, they're kind of hard. So we're going to want our feet to be quite a bit wider than our hips. The side that we're stretching towards, that foot needs to be pointed straight away, parallel to our body. The other foot can stay at 90 degrees. We're going to bend that knee a little bit and then sink into it the best you can. Really going to stretch that leg over here that's extended. I tend to kind of bounce around for a second. And then now we're going to straighten this foot out, turn the other one, same thing. Notice I'm kind of bouncing and rocking a little bit. So here, now, we're going to stay wide. Toes can point out at a little bit of an angle. We're going to hinge forward to the hips, walk out onto our hands as far as we can, drop to the forearms and elbows, and then lower your hips to the floor as low as you can. Ideally, and eventually you're able to touch your pelvis and knees to the ground. That's pretty cool. Make sure you breathe as you do this. If it hurts your back, don't go that low and work your way down, or just don't do it. This is just a great stretch for the inner thigh. Again, you'll notice a theme here is a lot of it is more inner thigh geared, but it works. And walk it back in. I only do that twice. No need to do it 3 times because we're about to get into a downward dog. So for downward dog, feet come together. You're going to lean forward at the hip. If you're able to touch the ground, awesome. And from there, you're going to walk out again as far out as you can, so long as the heels of your feet stay on the floor. If they begin to come up, that means you need to come a little closer. Similarly, the one I showed before this, where I was all wide, your feet need to stay flat to the ground. If they begin to come up, that means you can either bring your feet in closer to one another or don't go out as far just yet. We're going to do the downward dog twice. Out, get a good stretch, stick your butt up and out, press it into the floor with your hands and feet, and come back up. Again, notice that's not a real long stretch, no longer than 5 or 6 seconds probably. The last one I just kind of do to practice balance, but it does stretch the outsides of my hips pretty well. So everything else has been inner thigh, right? Here's fine with the outside. There's been some outer thigh. The 90-90s are good for your outside hip as well. But I'm going to go to one foot, grab my foot that's free with my opposite hand. Well, same side that I'm standing on. And I'm going to lean forward at my hip as far down as I feel good with, keeping that knee relaxed. Touch the floor for a second. Stand out of it. From here, we let go, kick out, grab the same foot with the same hand. Now we're all one-sided. May need to regain balance. Just depends on the day, depends on the shoe, depends on the fatigue. Again, hinge forward as far as you can. If you can touch the ground, that's great. And stand back up out of it. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. My right foot is always harder for whatever reason. You're going to get it up. Ooh. Raise your core to balance a little better. Hinge forward at the hip as far as you can. Knee relaxed. Touch the floor. Stand out of it. Let go. Reset. It's not perfect. Almost ever. We'll grab on again. And, oh, the pressure of the camera is real. Hinge over. Touch the ground. And stand back out of it. And that's it. The only thing I didn't show is the foam rolling. That is in the workout of the week 10D hip recovery part 1 or whatever it's called. But yeah, this is it. Thanks for joining. If you joined, I appreciate it. This will go up to be rewatched on both YouTube and Instagram. So if you're watching on YouTube, the Instagram handle is at LogueChance, LOGUECHANCE. If you're watching on Instagram, the YouTube channel is Logue Lifts, LOGUELIFTS. Check it out. It's mostly the same stuff. Instagram obviously has more than what YouTube, because I can post like photos and stuff, but most of it is generally the same things, just different screens, I guess, to watch it on. But nonetheless, thanks for joining if you joined, and I'll catch you on the next one. Give change a chance. Bye.